north-south, John, what are you looking for? So, if his legs are this way, okay? So north-south, side control here, and I go to north-south, okay? So as I'm here, for me, ideally, what I would want is for him to be on the side. Whenever they're flat, the options are more so limited, and it's more of a way just to grind them down, control them, and to see if you can anticipate which way they're gonna turn. Because my right hand is blocking his hip, my left hip should be at his face, turning his head. My left hand should be here, controlling his hips. Because number one, I want control. But I also want to turn him to his side, okay? One way of turning him to his side, oftentimes, is stepping over their head, okay? You step over their head, oftentimes, they'll turn to their side. But sometimes, they stay, you know, convinced that they're gonna be flat. So he stays flat. Go flat, John, okay? Being flat means you're not looking to formulate any type of escape because you're flat. In order for him to do anything, he'd have to be on the side, because that's the first step to turning your hips, to actually get out of this position. So when they're flat, it's almost like they've accepted this position, not just a matter of how much you control it, what you do with it. One way that I've found to effectively turn them to their side is to constantly keep pulling this elbow, and then you can get to here and get to a knee to belly, okay, and push their head. So this is like almost a false knee to belly, because it pushes on their near hip, and I keep pushing the head. See how you turn? Because knee to the belly would be more so like this, like here, okay? Here, I'm just coming up knee to the belly, and I'm pulling the hip, and I'm pushing the head. He'll have to kind of turn here. If I go here, and then here, and then I begin to attack this top arm. Does that kind of make sense? Mm-hmm. Okay. He may want to still turn to his back, okay? But now I can begin to attack from here and keep turning him, and I have control of arms where I want Kimuras, Tarikoplatas, whether I want Darces, whether I want Barataplatas right here, all kinds of stuff is available when they're on their side. When he's flat, you're gonna resort to a shitty paper cutter choke that you'll probably lose. Or you're gonna try to go for a Kimura that you're probably ultimately they're gonna use in order to be able to get out of this back position of flat. Because anytime you gotta understand, you get into side control is hard to get, easy to lose. Anytime I'm going for any type of submissions here, my hands have to, I can't do a submission with one arm. I need two. In order to get two, you have to lighten your body up on them and get your two hands in position against his two hands. And usually what the person on the bottom should be doing is timing an escape of some kind while you have your hands out of position. That's why this is such a popular thing to do and control the other person and keep them flat, flat, flat. But because my hands are clenched together, I literally don't have really any submissions from here until I open my hands and begin to work. Does that make sense? So what I like to do is, I like to go north-south. So the way I do this is by rolling the hips and turning his head with my hips, and then getting a knee to hit the near hip, because I push that hip, pull that arm, and hopefully push his head and step over for a north-south matrix, okay? So as I go here, I need to get a reverse crossface here, switch my right hand frame here, and now from about here, I'm rolling over his knee arm, sorry, right here, and you need to go right here. And then I start pushing the head and pushing that near hip, okay? Because what happens here is that it's almost like, it's unlikely that he's gonna go completely flat, because if he goes completely flat, then I'm able to begin to advance my position and mount. So the likelihood is that he's gonna turn in order to push that knee off the hip, okay? And then you get here, and now you're already in a good position to be able to attack something where it's just basically a Kimura right here, or maybe an arm lock from here, from the far side, whatever it may be, you have a turn. Or if he decides to stay flat, you have attached from knee to the belly. Because the way I'm doing it is this: I need the underhook here. I need that control because it's gonna pull them up. Okay. Another thing you can do is you can pull them into a turtle, and you can encourage them to roll to their knees, which is what I used to do all the time. I used to get here, okay, and instead of going knee to the belly, I put my knee right in there, kind of armpit right there, and go back. And what I would do is I would let go here, and they think they can grab that single leg on the outside and go to their knees right away. And then from here, I'd sprawl, and I begin to attack the turtle. And this is a very effective way for me to get in the turtle without really doing too much work, because I want them here so I can kill the turtle much more easily than anything else. But that's part of the overall impulse system. So, John, point your head that way and your feet to the window. So look, you're first going to do this. Okay? When you guys have side control, I don't really want to see this. There's no pressure on hands, and all the weight is on your knees and your hands. What I want to do is, for effective side control, I want to, and Lucas even showed this, I want to be here, and I want to be controlling this hip, because this is a more dynamic side control, okay? Whatever he does, okay, I'm controlling this hip with my right hip, okay? And I'm constantly trying to push his hip with my hip, right here. So it makes it hard for him to turn to his right side. Turn to your right side. It makes it hard because I'm also controlling the head. So it's a balance of controlling the hip, controlling the head. I'm not overcommitted to one or the other because that's bad. Okay? So here, if he frames my head right here and turns to my side, to the side, I can begin to turn my hip and move my leg away here. And now it's a clear shot to potentially mount, or to get the knee to the belly, or get here. Pull and push here, and I step over here. Preferably get this, because when you get to Kimura, right here, and then they save their hands, that's almost the only thing you can do. From here, it's very easy to break that grip here. So you can save it. Do a right hand jump. It's a lot of pressure on his bicep, because I'm slicing.
Thanks, David.
Yeah, bicep. So it's a calf slicer. No, the calf slicer is good.
Bicep.
Yeah, bicep. So as you're here, okay, I can break that fairly easy. And notice it's not thumbs. It's always here, here, here. Now it's a bicep slicer on the top arm, right? Okay. Now look, you save it. Okay. From here, it's fairly easy for me to pull it, break it, and the grip. If you get here, and his arm is on the inside, and he saves it here, okay, you can begin to separate it just by sliding to the inside here, okay? Because even if he's here, okay, and I'm pulling here, okay, I can save your arm. Save it like that.
Well, I'm afraid you're gonna wrist lock me.
Well, I'm not gonna wrist lock you.
Web would.
But look, you see how that arm safe, and it's correct, because what he's doing is with the bottom arm, he's preventing top from being pulled, okay? But he's not preventing it from being pushed. And then this is fairly easy to disassemble here. But again, going back to how to get to the north south, you have to roll the hips. I'm rolling my hip, keeping my head low enough for that left hand not to just be able to come through right here, because that's easy. Because I know he's going to want to frame right. I can always do that. Here I'm controlling his head, okay? And my elbows are off the mat. So my hips are constantly driving into his hips. My objective is to keep him flat. Because here's the thing you guys are going to understand. This frame works. Go ahead, frame, okay? But it works much better if he can move his hips laterally. If he gets a frame in here, even if he frames me, he's pushing himself right into the ground. His objective is to frame me laterally here, so now he can use this frame, and move your hips out that way. Yeah, see how he moves his hips out that way. If I feel that frame and I get on top of that frame, his frame pins him more. So it's just a way to neutralize what they're doing here. Because now as he's framing here, okay, and I know he's got nowhere to frame because he needs to turn to his side. And remember, this frame will only work as well as this frame works. Because this one has to be framing for this one to really work right here. Because if this one is weak, this one is completely meaningless. It's this one that creates that pressure that creates this frame. There you go. Because now from here I can also go here and I can just go one, up, keep it, one, and then break that frame here and keep him flat right here. Okay, so that I can go one, I can roll carefully over his near arm right here. Okay, as I roll the hips, that space opens. Oops, sorry. That space opens up here. Oh, he put his hand on the inside there. Okay, I could even go here, slide over here, get to the hip, to the near hip here, underhook, and keep pulling. His arm will come around because he'll pinch you right here. Yeah. Right here. And now I just go here, and I can begin to step over here as I begin to switch my arms because I need to get the Kimura. This is the Kimura direction. This is more the arm lock direction. This is the Kimura or Tarikoplata, which is stepping over here, putting the hand on the thigh, and then coming here, and then separating it and torquing it this way here. That's a Tarikoplata. Here's the Kimura. Here. He keeps it nice and tight right here. Grab your belt. Okay. This is the Kimura. Tarikoplata is where you step over. Dars would be grabbing the head here and triangling the arms. And then you have the Barataplata that Davis loves so much. Walk your feet to the right, John. A lot of fun to do. So, Dars. Okay. One on the inside here, look. North, south. Arm. Dars. Here, here, or Dars. Here. But he kept pulling his head back, so I didn't get the Dars. I take this hand, put it on my hip, right here. Step over his head here. Okay? Step over his body here. And I'm going to gently sit this way here as he comes to his knees. Basically go back in his guard here and try to get his head up and get here. Barataplata. Okay. But for now, just go to Kimura or north-south with the knee on the hip. Okay, let's go 1, 2, 3. I have to explain it in a way that covers a lot of details so that you guys can understand. Barataplata was too much. But forget the Barataplata. What is just the control?